Well, after a very few wet months, mould has been causing problems right along the east coast, but it's not just unsightly, it can also be a major health hazard.
Yeah, what about this? It's prompted one Aussie woman to share her story. Amie Skilton developed Alzheimer's and forgot her own name after being exposed to black mould. When Amie moved house 5 years ago, she had no idea about the infestation under her carpet. Thankfully, she has made a full recovery and is now using her experience to help others.
And Amie Skilton and Dr Mark Donohue join us now. Good morning to both of you. This is frightening, Amie. Tell us that moment when you couldn't remember your name. What do you remember around that period?
Nat, that whole year was quite a blur, but, you know, it's supposed to be the easiest question on a test, right? And I was filling out a form for the RTA, and the blank box remained blank, as did my mind. I literally couldn't remember my name.
Wow.
Terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark, give us an expert's breakdown on what on earth happened here. How can mould cause memory loss?
Koshi, the moulds are a bigger and bigger problem for people all the way through Australia right at the moment, the East Coast especially with all the rains. And this is turning up in my medical practice all the time. The issue is that the toxins produced by moulds that can be in your house, you don't even notice the moulds, but the toxins have an effect on the nervous system. And when it affects the brain, people like Amie run into problems.
Yeah, and Amie, you were having blood tests and they were coming back normal, is that right?
Yes, so traditional blood test screening sort of for major things all appeared completely normal, but when the biomarkers that get triggered with mould got tested, lo and behold, there was the answer.
Okay. Mark, how common is it for someone to have an extreme reaction to mould like Amie did? And what does the mould give off? Vapours or something, does it?
Well, two answers there, Koshi. The first one is what Amie's been through, thankfully, is not common. There's that, you know, you've got to line up the genetics, you've got to have the adverse reactions, the chemistry has to be affected. But it's more common than we think as doctors, and we keep on diagnosing people with early Alzheimer's without actually going through the history and finding out if they're exposed. With the moulds, all the moulds produce spores and toxins, and for some people, the mould toxins accumulate in the body, they can't clear it out easily, and it affects the nervous system, and it does exactly what you've seen with Amie. But maybe that's only a few % of the population, but moulds are not good for anybody.
So Mark, what else can it cause?
Well, Nat, it causes, I mean, we all know of allergies to moulds. I see people, when we used to do home visits as doctors, you go to the home and you can see black mould growing all around the place, kids with asthma, respiratory disease, kids with poor learning capacity at school. It affects many, many different areas. Thankfully, the important ones in the nervous system, the things that can cause Alzheimer's and Alzheimer's-like conditions, that's not so common. But if we're not looking for it, we let that pass and say, what can you do about Alzheimer's? And that's not the right way of approaching it.
Amie, where do you look for it? You had it under your carpet, did you? Did you know it was there? Should we all go and lift things up in our houses?
Look, it's probably not a good idea to go hunting around yourself because you might disturb toxins and make yourself really unwell. But it is very common to be hidden inside roof cavities, wall cavities, under carpet. So if you can't see it, it doesn't mean it's not there. However, if you can smell something musty or there's other dubious odours, you've got condensation, things feel damp, maybe there's dubious stains or rippling on your floors, ceilings or walls, that would be cause to call in an expert to go and have a look.
Well,
that's a good tip. And
so many people right up and down the east coast of Australia, after all the rain we've had in the last couple of years, are just nodding their heads this morning. Well, Amie, we're glad you are feeling better, and Mark, thank you for enlightening us. Amazing story there.
Thank you.
Thank you both.